Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. I wanted to go over the first several questions that you might see in your finance homework. You may not need this if you already have studied percentages in the past and you feel pretty comfortable with it. In this first one, it says someone bought an item for $131.09. That was 70% off the original price. What was the original price? So if someone pays 70% of something, that means that if they have 70% off, that means they are paying 30%. 70% off means that they paid 30%. So we want to know what number, if you take 30% of what number, would you get $131.09. You can certainly use a percent equation. I'm going to use the proportion here, and then, but you can use whichever method you want. But in a proportion, what we're interested in is we have 30%, that because that's what she paid, and then what they paid was $131.09, and we're trying to figure out what was the original cost, that big number of base on the bottom. And we always put our 30 over 100 when we're talking about percentages. And so to solve this, you're just going to multiply diagonally 131.09 times 100, and then divide by the other number, which is 30. So it would look like this: 131.09 times 100 divided by 30, and that would be 131 point. I haven't done it on my calculator. Why are we multiplying by 100? Because we have this thing of decimals, of percentages, and when we have percentages, we're always based on 100. What I get for an answer here is 436, and then 96666 forever 7. So talking about rounding, when we're talking about money, we typically do round to the hundreds place, and when I round this to the hundreds place, I'm going to get 436, and then I want to go 2 places out. So the second number 6, I look 1 to the right, that's going to go up to be 97. So just in general, we don't round until the end of the problem, typically when we're doing these finance or percentage type of problems. Okay, the second problem. At a restaurant, the bill comes to $72.84. You decide to leave a 22% tip. What was the total amount you will pay? That's what that says, you'll pay. So not just the tip, but also the original amount. So we can do this a few different ways. The way I'm going to do it is to find the tip and then add the tip onto the bill. So what I'm first asking is, what is 22% of $72.84? That's going to tell me how much of a tip I left. And then in this one, I did use the percent equation. I tried to use both because I know people like that somehow. Different ways. So what is the equal sign? What? We don't know what that number is, but we do know 22% of, and we say the word of, it's multiply 72.84. And so this is a multiply. We always have to change our percent into a decimal when we use this format. Up here we're putting it over 100, and here we're moving it 2 places to the left. So same effect. And so you get 16.0248. That's actually your tip. But they didn't ask what the tip was. They asked, what are we going to pay all together? And so that's when I don't want you to round. Just you take that number in your calculator and add it to the original cost of the bill, and that'd be $72.84 plus the tip would be $88.8648, rounded to 2 places because this 6 that we have a 4 next to it, it wouldn't round up. We'd be paying $88.86 if we tipped 22% there. I noticed as I wrote this that I used a lot of 22s and 222s. This is why individuals, people, we can't make up random numbers. You need a calculator or computers for that, because we will just kind of get a number stuck in our head like I did when I wrote this. You purchased living room furniture for $2,222, which includes the 11% sales tax. What was the original price of the furniture? Our original price here is going to be 100% of the furniture plus 11% for tax. So that's going to give us 111% is what we're paying for this. 2,223 is 111% of the cost, the original cost plus the tax. So I'm going to use a proportion again on this one. We have 2,222. We're looking for that total. We want to know what is the smaller number here because this number represents 100% plus 11 more. So our answer should be smaller than 2,222 because 111 is bigger than 100. We have more than 100% there. And so what I'm going to do here is take the, again, same method, 2,222 times 100 and divide by 11. And I get, nope, that's not what I get. Divide by 111, right? Sorry, 2,222. I just divided by 11 instead of 1,111. And what I get is 2001.8018. I could go on a ways, but I'm going to round that to the nearest hundreds, which is the second place. So I'm going to say that that furniture originally cost $2,001.80 because that next after the 0 is a 1. We don't round up. We keep it the same. That would be our original cost of that furniture. Okay, in the fourth one it says, suppose you currently own a clothes dryer that costs $22 a month to operate. There's my 22 again. A new efficient dryer costs $750 to purchase, but it has an estimating operating cost of $8.90 per month. How long will it take for the new dryer to pay for itself? Most people could figure this out. How you do it is your business, really. How I did it was I thought, how much would I be saving every month? So I took 22 and I subtracted $8.90. And that showed me that every month I'd be saving $13.10. Then I just took the number of the amount it was originally, $750, and I divided by my monthly savings. And notice that it says to round to the nearest month. So I'm going to take 750 and divide by $13.10. And that gives me this answer, 57.2519, yada, yada, yada. So if you round down here, I'm not sure what they're going to want you to do in the problem. If you round to the nearest month would be 57. But in truth, if you did that, 57 wouldn't be quite enough. It would take you 57 and then some. So if you to the nearest month, it'd be 58 months before it actually paid for itself. The rounding rules would say 57. But for me, I would say 58. And in truth, I don't know which way they're going to ask for that on the program when you do it. But I would say 57 is not quite enough. So to the nearest month, it's going to take me 58 months. One thing I just want to remind you, remember to round your calculations at the end. Don't round along the way multiple times because that can cause problems and give you wrong answers. And finally, I wanted to look at this formula for when you're talking about total interest earned, total amount due, sorry. A is the total amount of principal and interest. Like if you're paying back a loan, you take out a certain amount and then you also have interest added to that. And then P is the starting amount, which would be called a principal, P sub 0. And then R is the annual interest rate in decimal form, and T is the time in years. So if I had a problem like this, you take out a $600 loan with a 120-day term at an annual interest rate of 11%. When the loan comes due, what is the total amount you have to pay back? So I just want to remind you something, well, not remind you, maybe just tell you that at a bank, if you say 30 days, they consider that 1 month. A 60-day loan would be 2 months. A 90-day would be 3, and 120-day would be 4 months. So in this case, we're taking out a 120-day term loan, so that would be 4 months. And so how did I get 0.3333? I got it because I took 4 months out of 12 months. Because remember, our annual interest rate, the interest rate is annually, which is 12 months. So the 600, that's my original amount. And then 1 plus my rate, which is 11% changed into a decimal. And my time is however many months I have divided by 12. And then I would just calculate that out using my calculator to find out what that total amount is. So if I did that as 4/12, it would be a little more accurate than if I rounded it to 0.333. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. I don't know if you have what kind of calculator you have, but in my calculator I can do 4/12 very easily as part of my calculation, and I think I can get you see that. So if I'm doing 601 plus 0.11 times 4/12, that's going to give me a very accurate answer without rounding along the way. But that tells me exactly $622 is what I'm going to have to pay back after I'm done with that. 11% is a high loan, by the way, high interest. All right, that's it for the first several problems on your homework. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you next time.